Let's look at a typical cruise port call. You step off a ship carrying thousands of people, but you don't have weeks to explore. You have exactly 6 to 10 hours before that ship leaves with or without you. That creates a logistical problem if you want a local experience. A single 2-week itinerary might drop you into 4 different countries, requiring you to navigate 4 different languages. Most travelers assume they have 2 choices: study a language for 6 months to become conversational, or pay $200 for an English-speaking coach tour. Neither is ideal. The barrier to getting off the beaten path is a severe time constraint, and that requires a strategic approach built for speed. Standard language apps focus on long-term immersion. They spend months teaching you the words for colors, family members, and how to discuss the weather. Comparing preparation hours against port day utility reveals the problem. Traditional methods demand hundreds of hours for low value. You'll never discuss an aunt's sweater with a taxi driver. The density-first method takes 0 prep while maximizing on-the-ground utility. The goal is to set aside conversational fluency and focus entirely on mastering exactly 10 highly leveraged transactional phrases. Focusing on transactional density allows you to cover the highest percentage of your day's interactions with the lowest possible time investment. This diagram maps out a typical port day. It is a predictable sequence of about 15 specific transactions. Let's zoom in on the first node, transport. How you navigate this moment dictates your budget for the rest of the day. The excursion desk and taxi touts at the terminal price their services for tourists, but local taxi ranks and public transit lines are priced for residents. Accessing those resident prices requires 4 specific phrases: asking where the taxi rank is, requesting a neighborhood, asking for the meter, or negotiating a flat rate beforehand. Speaking those precise words helps you bypass the tourist tax immediately. The most important phrase you will use all day is, "I need to be back at the port by time." Delivering those phrases in the local language makes the driver see you as a savvy customer, not a vulnerable visitor. Once away from the terminal, the best meals happen where locals actually eat, typically a few streets behind the waterfront at a bustling market stall. This comparison matrix shows how your choice of words affects what you pay at those local markets. The textbook translation for asking a price in Spanish is "cuánto cuesta," but in much of Latin America, the street reality is simply "a como." The same dynamic exists in Asia. In Osaka, using the local nanbo instead of the standard ikura desu ka changes the interaction. Walk through Dotonbori in Osaka, and dropping a local nanbo lands perfectly within their vibrant vendo culture. Vendors hear the difference instantly. They know whether you are reciting from a generic phrasebook or if you have actually prepared for their specific city. Utilizing localized street phrases signals competence, which helps you secure resident prices instead of inflated tourist rates. Every global cruise terminal has persistent vendors trying to sell items you likely don't need. A culturally accurate firm, "no thank you," is your most effective tool in these areas. Delivered confidently in the local language, it terminates the sales pitch in a single exchange. You avoid escalation and keep moving. Relationship phrases like "aroemak" at a Thai market cost nothing to learn, but reliably produce the most genuine interactions of the entire day. Mastering these boundary setting and relationship phrases gives you the soft power to control your own schedule and your own budget. This decision scorecard breaks down 3 common approaches. You have the coach tourist, the immersion student, and the independent optimizer. The coach tourist pays for convenience but loses authenticity. We want to be the independent optimizer, following a specific checklist the night before. The optimizer's routine takes exactly 45 minutes in the cabin, the evening before a new port. You isolate your 10 phrases and say them out loud. Passive reading creates recognition, but out loud speaking builds the muscle memory you need. Phonetic rehearsal is critical. There's a wide gap between reading a word in a quiet room and producing it while a taxi driver is waiting for your answer. Approach your shipboard prep as a tactical rehearsal, ensuring your delivery is automatic before you ever step onto the pier. To execute this density-first method, you need a specialized tool. That is exactly why the Street Tongue app was built. Standard apps teach generic grammar. Street Tongue provides hyper-localized dialect guides, essential for places with heavy regional accents, like the Rio Platense dialect in Buenos Aires. This is a Street Tongue port day guide. It gives you 10 transactional phrases for your specific city and immediately scores your pronunciation as you practice. Getting that live feedback the night before ensures you can speak clearly and confidently the moment you walk down the gangway. Stop paying the tourist tax on your shore excursions. You can download Street Tongue using the link in the description. The free tier is enough to cover your very next port stop. While you're there, leave a comment and tell us about your worst translation fail or the biggest price trap you've encountered. You don't need 6 months of study to navigate a foreign city. 45 minutes with 10 targeted phrases changes the trajectory of your entire day.